Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade pre-registration is now open. The game is expected to release on December 5th. It may happen sooner, it may happen later. That's just what it says on the App Store. They haven't officially announced a release date yet, other than saying it is 2024. But if you guys have not pre-registered yet, you want to make sure you do that, because as you see, as of 2 days after opening pre-registration, we're already at 1 million pre-registrations. If we get to 10 million pre-registrations, we get a redrawable SSR character guaranteed gotcha ticket, which I think is very, very important and we are going to want to get. So today we're going to be talking about what character should you be re-rolling for, assuming we get this redrawable ticket, who is going to be the best general pool unit to pull for to help carry you through beginning content and Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade when it launches on global. So long story short, there are 2 SSRs that you guys should be pulling for at the start of the game, and those SSRs include Gojo, the blue attacker Gojo, who is insanely good. We'll go over his kit here in a second, and the yellow Kugisaki. Kugisaki is absolutely insane as well, has great damage, crit, everything about her is insane. And then when it comes to SR characters you should be trying to get alongside these SSR characters, you should be either going for Yaga, who is an insanely good support, or Nanami, who is also a very decent support. Now the catch is, with the redrawable ticket that you get from the 10 million pre-registrations, right, it only gives you 1 guaranteed SSR character from my understanding, and if I remember right back when we got a similar thing on JP. So you can't get both Gojo and Kugisaki from that redrawable ticket. So if I was to say who to pick out of the 2, I would say Gojo has the slight edge over Kugisaki, but there are disadvantages to him. So we're going to talk about his kit and go over him really quickly. His characteristics, the number 1 downside to Gojo right there off the bat: leaves the field after 7 turns. He literally just says peace and he's gone, and the game treats it like he's dead. It's crazy. But in those 7 turns that you have him on the field, I am not exaggerating when I say he is the most broken character in the game when the game is first going to come out on global. He also increases own critical hit rate for 2 turns when performing a black flash. He does have a black flash. Some characters do not. So if I go to Yaga here, Yaga does not have a black flash. So keep that in mind. Black flash is just going to allow you to do more damage. And then for his kit, Gojo's skill 1 is called Look At It. It deals 275% Jujutsu damage to a selected enemy. Not anything too crazy there when we're talking about skills, right? It's just a damage skill because he is an attacker. And if you want to see how any of these skills look, I've done plenty of videos on the JP side of Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade. Just go check out my channel. I have a whole section there for it if you guys want to see what any of these skills actually look like in game. Now keep in mind, this is 275% damage at level 1 of the skill. As you upgrade the skill, the damage goes up just a little bit there, just a tiny bit, right? So a little bit insane. Skill 2, I will make you look cool, deals 200% taijutsu damage to the selected enemy. That's at level 1. At level 10, there you go. And then skill 3, it's starting to be fun. Increases own damage by 75% for 3 turns. That is insanely good, increasing your own damage. So if you do your skill 3 before you do any of your other skills, those skills are going to hit for a ton of damage, okay? And then at level 10, increases your own damage by just a little bit for 3 turns. And then his ultimate technique, Cursed Technique Reversal Red, at level 1 deals 525% damage. At level 10, just a tiny bit of damage, right? So needless to say, Gojo is absolutely freaking broken. Very, very, very good in terms of damage. And then his combo ult effect, this is when you use his ultimate along with another character's ultimate in the same turn, deals an additional 944% Jujutsu damage to all enemies. Both combo partners gain an additional break damage bonus of 8% for 2 turns as well. Oh, and by the way, his Curse Technique Reversal Red is an AoE. It's just, he's so good. Note the percentages for the combo effect can be increased with dupes, so you can increase these percentages with dupes of the character. Dupes do matter. I think up to 5 dupes matter in this game if I remember right from the JP side. I am free to play on the JP side, so I haven't actually had a chance to actually use all 5 dupes, so yeah, just keep that in mind though. And then for auto skills, Urgent Business, we already saw this before, but he leaves the field after 7 turns. And then this is the really big thing that makes him even better than just all the damage he does above. Infinite Technique. He is immune to incoming attacks. It makes him actually a really good tank at the same time. So he's like an attacker tank at the beginning of the game. He literally does not take damage from anything. for 7 turns. So he can do a ton of damage and not take any damage himself. The big disadvantage being that he just leaves the field after 7 turns. He says, peace out. So most things early game can be beaten within 7 turns, but there are some things that you can't, and that's why you might choose to go with this other character, Nobara Kugisaki, because she is not going to leave the field on you like Gojo. Arguably, Gojo is slightly better because he can't be hit and he does more damage, I would say, overall, but Kugisaki also does a ton of damage and she's not going to leave you. So let's talk a little bit about what she can do. Her characteristics: she is able to attack the soul, she increases her own damage when attacking the same enemy, and she has a black flash, similar to Gojo. And then her kit is a little bit different because she does this thing called nail stacking, which allows her to do more damage with her ultimate, which can go crazy. And the way the nail stack allow her to target multiple opponents at once. So skill 1, nail skipping, deals 99.9% range jujutsu damage to the selected enemy 3 times total. Gives 3 nail counts to the selected enemy for 3 turns. If you upgrade this, it gives you more percentage damage. It doesn't increase your nail counts though. And then at skill 2, I'll just exercise it like this. Increases own jujutsu damage by 55.7% for 4 turns. And that's at level 10. At level 1, it's only 35%. And then on skill 3, Straw Doll Technique Resonance. This is probably my favorite skill for her. It's really good. Deals 200% range jujutsu damage to the selected enemy. As you have less HP, you do more damage yourself. This skill can hit so hard, especially with a crit. And at level 10, deals 358.4% range jujutsu damage to the selected enemy. And then her ultimate technique, Straw Doll Technique Hairpin. At level 1, it gives 3 nail counts to the selected enemy for 3 turns, deals 225% range jujutsu damage to the enemy who received the nail counts, or if you go up to level 10, it does that much damage, right? And then the more nail counts an enemy has, the greater the damage boost. And I do believe, if I remember right, I'm pretty sure you can, if you have nail counts on an enemy from your other skills, you can kind of split the attack between multiple opponents, which makes her really, really good. And then removes all nail counts when ultimate skill is performed. So keep that in mind, it will reset your nail counts. And then the combo ult effect deals 31.4% range jujutsu damage to an enemy who got targeted by the ultimate skill, recovers own and the combo ally's ultimate skill gauge by 96, which is pretty nice. Same thing from before for the note. And then for auto skills, it's to stay true to myself. She increases her own critical hit rate by 10% from the start of battle. So if you can put crit on this character with a memory, she will absolutely pop off for you and do so much damage. And she has multi-hit attacks, right? As well as being able to target multiple enemies and doing more damage as she loses health. So she's very, very good, and she doesn't dip on you. So, I mean, out of these 2 characters, once again, Gojo, I'd say, is the GOAT, but like Nobara is a very, very, very close second. And I've used both characters personally on JP, and I use them both on the same team sometimes. Like, they're both still really good to this day, even just for general pool units compared to the newer units that have released since then on the JP side of the game. Now, as for supports, Yaga is by far in every way the best support in the game. He's still meta to this day in JP. I can't stress enough that if you can get this Yaga, he is going to be a godsend for you. A very, very good character. So his skill 1 is very simple. It is literally called Kick, and it doesn't do much. Deals 100% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy. That's it. If you upgrade it, it does more damage. That's nothing too crazy, but then the rest of his skills are going to be very, very good and make him one of the best supporters in the game. So skill 2, Guidance to the Next Generation, increases all allies' taijutsu damage and jujutsu damage by 27.8% for 4 turns. At level 10, it goes up to 45.8%, which is very good. And then for his skill 3, Go Kathy, deals 80% range jujutsu damage to the selected enemy for 4 hits total, and deals combined damage of 100% taijutsu and 20% jujutsu to the selected enemy. We don't really care about that part because he's an SR character with kind of low stats. It's not going to matter that much, but then this part does matter. Increases the selected enemy's damage received by 27.8% for 2 turns, and if you get it to level 10, by 47.6% for 2 turns. That's very, very big when you combine that with a damage increase for your allies up here, and then they take more damage from this skill here. That could be insanely, insanely good, especially when pairing this character with someone like Kugisaki or like Gojo. It's just going to make Yaga insanely, insanely valuable. And then his ultimate skill is called Cursed Corpse Great Attack, and at level 1, it deals 400% 206.8% ranged jujutsu damage to the selected enemy. And then at level 10, 808% reduces the selected enemy's taijutsu damage, jujutsu damage, and increases the selected enemy's damage received by 49.7% for 2 turns at level 10. It's less than that, obviously, at level 1, but still very, very good. So everything about Yaga is he's going to debuff the enemies, buff your allies. Very, very good. And then his combo ult effect increases own and combo allies break damage amount by 10% for 2 turns, deals 100% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy. And it is helpful to break the enemy so they're not attacking you. So in case you don't know what break is, just go, once again, check out any of my videos. You can see this stuff actually in game. Just go to my channel and I promise you it'll be very easy for you to find Jujutsu Kaisen on the channel page. And then for Nanami, the last character we have to talk about, the other support character. He's not nearly as good as Yaga in my opinion, but as far as starter general pool SR characters go, I would say he is the next best supporter you can get to help out these two and help them just kind of glide through the game. So Nanami, unlike Yaga, does have a Black Flash, and his characteristic is to increase his own Black Flash rate, and then his skill 1 is similar to Yaga. It just deals damage, 75.2% taijutsu and 75.2% jujutsu at level 10. At level 1, it's obviously less. His skill 2, Let's Go All Out, increases own damage by 27.8% for 4 turns. That's okay, but the real good thing here is increasing all allies damage by 20.9% for 4 turns, and at level 10 it goes up to 34.4%. So not quite as much as Yaga, but still useful, right? And then for skill 3, 7-3, deals a melee combined damage of 100% taijutsu and 100% jujutsu to the selected enemy. At level 10 it just goes up. That skill is not a buff or a debuff skill, so you can see why Yaga would be better, because so far he only has 1 buff skill. But then his ultimate also does some stuff. So ultimate is called Ratio Technique, deals a melee combined damage of 250.3% taijutsu and 250.3% jujutsu to the selected enemy, increases all allies damage by 14.3% for 2 turns, and if you go up to level 10, 27.8% for 2 turns. So he does have 2 skills that can buff allies, which is pretty useful, but he doesn't have any debuffs from the enemies there. And then his combo ult effect recovers own and the combo allies curse energy by 10, and then deals a melee combined damage of 50% taijutsu and 50% jujutsu to the selected enemy. And that is Nanami in a nutshell. So in general, who I would recommend going for, like number 1 and number 2, I would recommend going for Gojo number 1 out of the 2 SSRs, and then I would recommend going for Yaga number 1 out of the 2 SRs. But these kind of just give you guys an idea of who to pull for and who to aim for. If somehow you are lucky and you get both Nobara and you get Gojo at the beginning of the game, trust me when I say you are set and you are going to be so good for the early game content. If you guys have any questions, drop them down in the comments below. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please consider going down there, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.